Eastern Airlines Flight 21, a Douglas DC-3 Silverliner like this one, crashed into a pine grove just off Highway 54 in Morrow, Georgia. Based on a map created by the crash investigators at the time, I surmised the initial crash point was near Mount Zion Road and Highway 54, just north of where I-75 is now. The DC-3, configured in the sleeper option, was on the second leg of a 5-leg journey, with the final destination being Brownsville, Texas. The journey began at LaGuardia Field in New York and stopped at Washington's Hoover Field for refueling. It left Washington at 9:05 Eastern Standard Time, headed for Candler Field, now known as Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Airport. On board were 13 passengers and 3 crew members. Survivors, including Eastern Airlines president and former World War I ace Eddie Rickenbacker, stated that the plane seemed to be flying too low, and it struck the tops of trees before it fell into a pine grove at approximately 11:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Atlanta was in the Central Time Zone in 1941. Of the 16 souls on board, 8 were killed, including Maryland Congressman William D. Byron. A couple of the survivors eventually were able to walk to a nearby house to get help about 6:30 a.m. the next morning. This was a rural area in 1941. Eddie Rickenbacker was badly injured and had to be carried off the plane. He suffered with those injuries the rest of his life. After a long investigation, the Aviation Authority, a precursor to today's FAA, determined the fault lied equally with both the pilots and Eastern Airlines. Eastern Airlines failed to provide a comprehensive checklist for landing, which included altimeter settings adjustments and verification. The pilots, who were well trained, including on altimeters, failed to check both altimeters to determine whether they were both reading the same altitude. Unfortunately, both pilots died in the crash. The crash area has changed greatly since 1941. The dirt roads of 1941 are now paved. The pine groves are now apartments and subdivisions. One developer, who built homes here in the early 1960s, paid tribute to Eddie Rickenbacker by naming a street in his honor near the location of the crash. It happened here 80 years ago.